Good evening, everyone. At this time, I would like to call the June 7th, 2022 Special Committee of the Whole meeting to order. The village clock has it at 5:31 PM. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady.
Here.
Trustee Brennan. Trustee Galante. Here. Trustee Mahoney.
Present.
Trustee Mueller.
Here.
Trustee Sullivan. Here. President Klotz.
Present.
And Trustee Brennan has informed me that he is out on a vacation, so he won't be here today. This is a rather large agenda, so as we're going through it, if there's a particular item that we'd like to hear staff on, I'd ask that you just kind of bring that to my attention. Otherwise, everything has been published in your packet, and hopefully you've had an opportunity to go through it all so that we can spend times on the items that are important while making sure that we move the other items along. So at this point in time, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting held on May 17th, 2022.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Dennis.
I'll second.
Thank you, Colleen. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
Item number four, consider special counsel appointment for the Delgado Law Group. We've been using them for quite some time, certainly been happy with the work that they've done. Do we need to hear any more on this particular item? Go ahead.
I'd like to know more what the plan is, what we're going to use them for. I'm pretty sure everybody's well aware that I've been asking for us to bring back the quarterly reports that have been reinstated for the legal spending to know where they're spending such a large line item of our budget. I disagree that we need to hire more. I have a FOIA in that it's actually was extended. I should get it maybe today. To get that information because I can't get it as a trustee. So I definitely disagree that, I definitely believe we need to reevaluate bringing in more law firms. What are they going to work on? I've said this before we just start bringing in more, let's have a plan. How much are we willing to put in? What's in the budget for this? What are they going to do? We have a lot of different groups. We have people working on different things. I think we should know more before we just approve them to do work. More work that I don't even have an explanation for until I see the information in the FOIA.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
Pat or Hannah, do you guys want to answer that, or I'll say something? Go ahead. You sure? As far as your, I'm sorry, can I have the floor?
Yes, please.
Thank you. As far as your comments, Diane, again, saying you're not getting anything and this and that and the other, I did respond to your email twice. Everything that you requested is in your packet. So if you're not seeing it in your packet, maybe you're not reading your whole packet. Everything you were requesting is in your packet.
Can you show me where in the packet it is? Because I was told that because I did not email properly, the information was not going to be given to me. That's what you replied.
No, I said I'm not going to do your job for you. It's all in your packet.
My job is to be able to vote on something that's presenting to me. I didn't ask about this. I asked about a different item, and I was told that because the protocol was not filed, which I did ask the attorney to let me know clarification on the rules of that, because we seem to be changed management, and for some reason now I have to change how I request information. I asked for information on a different line item. So what you responded to was that. I'm not sure, what is it? Can you clarify exactly what you're saying to me on this item? What did I ask you on this item?
I'll let the clerk answer for you.
As far as the information concerning this item, it's on page 113 of the agenda through page 121 that you received on Friday.
Twice.
And I didn't say, can you please clarify when I reported that I didn't have this information? I'm saying why I'm not going to vote for more attorneys. I never said that I wasn't given information. I wasn't given any information on the financial spending. You can spin this all you want. I've asked for quarterly reporting on the financial spending of legal bills, which is a significant line item on the budgets. It's over, way over, we don't even budget enough for these line items. In the last few years, it's quadrupled. It's quadrupled, and I believe it's excessive. And I'm waiting for the information, why we can't just have the quarterly reports that every other board has used and presented in the financial data, which is another question. We should be seeing how this money is being spent. I should understand that. I don't know where you want us to approve for more spending, when I can't even get the details of what we spent already. That's all I said. I didn't say where that's all I have to say on that.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank
And
you.
Just from my perspective, we've been using Delgado for how many years now?
Over a year.
For over a year. And so
Well,
this
actually,
isn't,
he was actually here when Mayor Vandenberg was here. Mayor Vandenberg brought him
Right.
on.
yeah, and from my perspective, we're not adding lawyers. We're continuing to use their service. They've brought us some road projects. They've worked at the legislative level, so I've been very happy with their service. Any other comments from the board?
I just have one last one.
Well-
And I just,
well-
for your public comment, Diane, I would just suggest that you read your email that you sent, because you specifically said that you are not receiving the same information that every other board member is receiving. The clerk just told you what pages it's on. Because you did not read it or chose to ignore it, that is not our problem, but every single thing that is on there, we all have a copy of it, unlike what you stated in your email, so.
Any other board members like to
I
comment?
just wanted to comment that in what I read is that it's there as needed, okay? It's not a retention, they're there when we need them, that's all.
Perfect. So I'll make a motion to move this item to the village board later tonight.
I'll second.
Thank you, Dennis. Madam Clerk, can you call a roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
No.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That item passes. Item number 5, consider a Class S liquor license for Flipside Brewing at 7144 183rd Street. Anything to comment? It's a pretty basic one.
Yep, it's all in your packet.
Any questions that the board needs resolved for this particular item?
Not that we need it resolved for anybody, but maybe for the public, you could just give a little brief explanation of what we're discussing. Just a brief thing. I just think it would help the public to understand. They maybe don't see what we see in the package.
So for this one, Eric I'm going to mispronounce his name, but Pizer is looking to put in a Flipside Brewing where 350 Brewing was previously. So it's a experience that he's got with Rock Bottom in Warrenville and at the Milk Money Brewing in LaGrange, and I think he'd be a great addition to Tinley Park.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think that would be helpful for the public to know.
Any other questions?
No, just that the public has the exact same information that we have, so thanks,
The
Mike.
more we can.
Can we hear a motion to consider Class S liquor license for Flipside Brewing?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved in second. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Item number 5, item number 6, consider reduction of one Class AV liquor license. So a bit of a administrative task here with Durbin's.
Yeah, everyone has the packet, it's just
Yep.
removal of one.
Any other questions about the reduction of the liquor licenses? All right, I'll make a motion to move item number 6 to the board meeting tonight. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Dennis. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Item number 7, consider an amended contract for GIS Consortium Service with Municipal GIS Partners Incorporated. Anthony's coming to the podium.
Yep,
for-
I'll try to keep this brief, so thank you. As you know, the village belongs to a Geographic Information Systems Consortium, which provides staffing resources to address the maintenance, development, and management of our GIS data and information. What's in front of you here is an amendment to the agreement that was approved by the board in January of this year. The amended agreement will increase the services provided by the GIS Consortium for the remainder of the 2022 calendar year back to the pre-pandemic funding levels. The agreement covers just the second half from July 1 to December 31st. The increased cost to the village is $37,793.32. The funding for this has been budgeted in this fiscal year 23. The reason you have it as an amended agreement is the agreements with the consortium are calendar year as opposed to our fiscal year. So I'd be happy to address any questions you may have.
Nope, glad we're getting back to pre-COVID levels. Any other questions from the board?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. I'll make a motion to move item number 7 to the consent agenda items later on tonight. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Dennis. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Item number 8, consider extended stay hotel licensing. So I will turn this one over to Kimberly for a
Sure.
brief explanation.
And I will try to be brief as well. So later this evening, the village board will be reviewing, as a first read, a zoning text amendment that actually will be addressing extended stays as well. So with that, there's also a component to the village municipal code that licenses businesses. We want to make sure these things are reflecting each other correctly, both in the zoning code and the licensing. So we are further breaking out the definition of a hotel, and that we will define an extended stay hotel from a regular standard hotel. So part of this licensing ordinance does that, which the extended stay hotel is the same definition that is being replicated in the zoning code. Other parts of the licensing particularly will be applicable to both hotel and extended stays, with limiting the permanent residency of no more than 28 consecutive days. There is an exception in the maximum stay length that with written contract or documented agreement between a hotel, motel, or extended stay with a business corporation, we acknowledge that, you know, corporations come in and will sign up for long-term stay because they have training in the area, or you have a large construction project. We do not want to hurt any of those hotels or businesses from staying here longer. This is really more geared towards anyone that is not a part of a business contract or any other valid reason other than, you know, we're trying to deter this from being their permanent residence, per se. So there is a 2-day period where they have to exit and be somewhere else in order for them to come back, and technically if they wanted to come back and stay, then that time clock would start again. So that was a major point I wanted to clarify. We recognized through our conversations that we would exclude anyone with a business contract, and all they would have to do is provide proof of that. If we ever needed to investigate that, we can confirm that through a contract of some sort with that hotel operator. In addition, we mandate or require that by the 7th day, you know, at minimum, these rooms have to be cleaned. That is to ensure that the rooms are being visited, and there can be some maintenance on those rooms, that no individual could decline cleaning once they hit that 7th day mark. And that is some language we actually got from our current extended stay that has this particular language with their guests, that, you know, yes, for up to 7 days you can decline cleaning room services, but on that 8th day you have to allow them in. And that again is for safety reasons and to make sure the room is you know, not being damaged in any sorts. So that language is in there as well. In addition, some additional responsibilities of the hotels, we'd like to have them regarding surveillance on the property and getting those surveillance systems up within 180 days after this ordinance goes into effect, particularly the common areas and the parking lots. We want to have those video surveillances in place. And just some other basic, responsibility of the hotels is, training of their staff to ensure they know how to properly vet, those people that are staying in their establishment for long-term stays and things like that. So this is one step of the municipal ordinance we're modifying that will then also be reflective in the future text amendment for the zoning code, which will differentiate hotel from extended stays, which the recommendation is looking at extended stays as special use. They're just slightly different in operation, and we want the village to have an opportunity to review those on a case-by-case basis. And then also, based on that, they can put conditions that they see fit based on the location. So this is just for conversation. I think we're looking for feedback, and then we'd look to get this to the June 21st for first read. And that'll give us an opportunity to meet with the hotels as well.
Thank you, Kimberly. I think from my perspective, making sure that the businesses can extend contracts to partners was an important part. The surveillance is fantastic, so I agree with all the points that you made. I know not just our community, but other communities are having problems where people are taking full-time residents in these types of situations, and it's increasingly becoming a problem. So good that and I wouldn't say we're getting ahead of it, but at least we're recognizing it as a problem and making sure that we're taking the steps to prevent it going forward. I'll open it up to the floor. Any other comments or changes that we'd like reflected in this?
Can I speak, Mike?
Go ahead.
Thanks. Where did we come up with the 2 days? Is that something that's statutory, or is that?
I'll let Paul.
I'll just say that we did an analysis with staff, with Kimberly and Dan Ritter. We looked around, we were trying to come up to distinguish what's the difference between a hotel room and an extended stay room, and, how we would define that. And when we looked at the number of stays and what we thought was a fair and reasonable number, and then allowing for somebody to check out and come back, we kind of made it our legal research reflected that 2 days seemed to be a fair number that we could stand up to in court.
Okay, so you wouldn't support 5?
I could go back and look at it. I mean, we didn't look at 5.
Yeah, I mean, you got time. It's
Yeah.
just, it's just a thought because.
I don't think we looked at that.
I mean, because we've been through the parking lot, there's been a lot of cars that have had to be removed. Doesn't stop anyone from just staying in their car for 2 days. Just a thought.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Any other? Mr. Brady?
Is there a distinction, say, for a family that had a disaster, fire in their house or whatever, where they would be able to?
I think we did make a carve out for that as
When
well, Bill.
An
Okay.
insurance company or a federal, state, or local agency has provided documentation that a hotel guest has been displaced from their home by a natural disaster or fire. Again, we don't want to hurt those individuals. That unfortunately happens, and we've
Right.
had individuals stay in our own community. So that's, again, obviously we'd only really be checking on this if there was an issue, but the hotels will know that they'll need that documentation if they're going to extend more than 28 days.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because I
So-
was wondering too about our military that stayed there, during COVID.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
that was a perfect
Contract.
example of a contract too.
So we
Okay.
made a carve out for that, and I think, Kimberly touched on it there, that, we tried to think of all the different scenarios, to make the accommodations, so we're not hurting the businesses, but at the same time recognizing that there are some problems associated with this, and it's really, kind of been on the upswing, meaning that more extended stays are more popular now after COVID, and so we're just trying to, I think as Trustee Mueller said, try to get ahead of it a little bit and think out all the scenarios and not hurt the businesses.
And also
So-
protect them.
That's right.
Protect
So, the 2 days, the 5 days, we'll take a look at that. We made all the carve-outs that we thought were legal and we could justify, so I think we're there.
Okay.
You know.
Great.
And the reason these steps are important to differentiate that, because since this is certainly the market is supportive of extended stays, but we could, in theory, have current hotels convert to extended stays. So we have a good amount of hotels, and we wanted to make sure that then, okay, if that was the case, then we have licensing in place, but also the zoning. Those individuals could, by right now, could convert with no zoning approval or anything.
And again, this, I think, is on two levels, right? It gives us the opportunity when people come in and they're looking to a business license, to see if it fits in our code and the zoning code, and also if some of these other businesses are trying to convert. But it really is, you know, somebody would have to say to us, village, that somebody's been in that room for a long period of time and, you know, we think they're beyond the state. It's not something that, you know, we're gonna be out policing necessarily.
Right, right.
It's a tool for us to control this, these extended stays.
Okay, thank you.
Is this something that a guest is going to know upfront when they check in? Do they typically, I don't know how people check in, like, oh, I'm checking in for 30 days. Do they know right off does the hotel staff know typically with a place like that, how long somebody plans on staying? So it's not a surprise at 28 days they're basically getting evicted?
Right.
Then it turns into a problem for the staff?
No, that's a good point, but that's also why we have the training component. Once this licensing goes into effect, and we'll be communicating with the operators, that this will be something they'll have to build into their communications with their guests, that this is a local ordinance, and it might differ from maybe they stay at an extended stay in one town, and it's not like that here. So they will have to, and through our conversations with the hotel operators, we'll make sure how that gets communicated.
And we think 28 days is really kind of on the far end
Yeah.
for these. I mean, most of them, our trainings are 8, 10, 2 weeks are
Right.
kind of the sweet spot there. Once you get down to 28 days, you're really kind of getting to the far end of the spectrum. And most of the times that when you have that, you're gonna have the corporate entity there with the contract in place that are sending their people in their town. So not only will, most of the people are gonna be not paying for that room, their company's paying for it or something else. So they will know, not only probably from their employer side, but certainly from the hotel will know when they're checking in, you know, that they'll have to advise them that, you know, if they're planning on staying beyond that, they'll have to make other arrangements. And so, but really, it's really on the far end of the spectrum there, that somebody would be self-paying that far out.
I love the security idea. I think that's great. You're being proactive and putting things in place like that. So I think it's a good idea.
Well, it was a great collaboration between the police department, PJM's firm, and some of our internal conversations. So it's been very collaborative. And hopefully when we speak with the operators, they'll kind of see what we're trying to do here.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Any other comments or questions from the board? All right, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to move this item to first read at the June 21st Village Board meeting.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Brady. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Item number 10, consider a resolution to appropriate motor fuel tax funds for fiscal year 2023 pavement management program. John, you want to give us the itty bitty on this one?
We skip one here, sir? Yeah. Number 9.
Oh, I'm sorry. Item number 9, consider annual municipal separate storm sewer Ms4 program.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Just real quick, this is David Pletta from Robinson Engineering, who's going to be giving a presentation for us here.
I'll try to keep this quick. Talking about the Ms4 program, or the Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System Program. This is an IEPA thing. It all started with the Clean Water Act and the NPDES program, which regulates any type of point source of water that goes into a national waterway. So under this program, Tinley Park operates a storm sewer system that makes its way into rivers and natural waterways. Technically, we need an NPDES permit. The way the IEPA addresses this is to say, okay, we're gonna make a statewide permit that all municipalities operate under. And so we have to follow what the ILR 40 says. We are considered an MS4 under the ILR 40 permit. So what does Tinley Park actually do? This covers the reporting aspects of it. Every year, we submit facility inspections to say, okay, we are following the aspects of the ILR 40 that we are supposed to, that IEPA asks us to. And whenever a new ILR 40 comes out, we submit a notice of intent to say that we intend to follow the ILR 40 and do these various aspects that they ask us to. That's kind of the boring paperwork part. For the most part, this is just average, everyday, best stormwater management practices that everybody follows. This slide is to just reinforce that this is a team-wide effort and everybody gets involved in following this program. Here I have some of the minimum control measures that we report to the IEPA that Tinley Park follows. You can see many things that are involved here. I'm not going to go through every single one, but you can see public education and outreach is a part of it, and that's why I'm talking to all of you today about this program. If you have any questions about any specifics, you can come to Robinson and ask. I'm standing right here if there's any questions or concerns. But everybody's involved in this. It's a team effort, and we get it done. Anybody?
That's great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come back and talk anytime.
All right, what was the specific action that we needed on this one? You were just looking for direction?
Nope, it's just a notification as part of the requirement for the process, so.
Thank you, John. Any other questions or comments for John's item here? All right, well, thank you very much for that. Now we finally get to my favorite item, number 10. Consider a resolution to appropriate motor fuel tax funds for fiscal year 2023 management program. Anything outside of the pamphlet that you'd like to talk through, or what was posted, John?
Nope, there's no questions.
Any comments from the board? So this time, we'll be looking to move this to the board meeting tonight. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Can I have a motion to move this one to the board meeting tonight?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Dennis. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Colleen. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes,
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
that motion carries. Item number 11, consider a resolution to appropriate rebuild Illinois bond funding for the fiscal year 2023 pavement management program. So very, very similar, but coming from a different source. Any questions from the board on this one for John? All right, at this time, I'll look for a motion to move item number 11 to the village board meeting later tonight.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Dennis.
I'll second.
Thank you, Bill. And Madam Clerk, would you call the roll on item number 11?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes,
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
that motion carries. Item number 12, consider a resolution to award the contract for the fiscal year 2023 pavement management program to Irrigois Paving Corporation. Anything to add to this one, John? Pretty straightforward.
No, sir, straightforward bid.
Any comments from the board? All right, at this time, I'll look for a motion to move item number 12 to the village board meeting later on tonight.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Dennis. I'll second that motion for you, Madam Clerk. And would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes,
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
thank you. That motion carries. Item number 13, consider a resolution to execute the engineering services contract for the fiscal year 2023 pavement management program to Robinson Engineering. Reading through the board packet, this one seems straightforward as well. Anything to add, John?
No, sir.
Questions from the board? I'll look for a motion now to move item number 13 for Robinson to the village board meeting later tonight.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Diane seconded it. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Thank you. That item carries. Item number 14, consider awarding the 2023 Pavement Crack Fill Program contract to SKC Construction Incorporated. Another fairly straightforward one from the packet. Questions or any additions, John?
No, sir.
Questions and comments from the board? I'll look for a motion to move item number 14 to the village board meeting later tonight.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Dennis.
Second?
Thank you, Bill. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes,
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
that motion carries. Item number 15, consider awarding the contract for water main replacement and road improvements for 174th Street to PT Faro Construction. Anything to add for this one, John?
Other than the fact that this bid did come in over budget, but because the fact that it is being funded through the adjoining TIFs in the area, just looking for board approval with the acknowledgement that it is over budget, but the TIFs will be funding the difference.
Thank you, John. Questions and comments from the board? At this time, I'll look for a motion to move item number 15 to the village board meeting later on this evening.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Dennis.
A second?
Thank you, Colleen. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
We're going to be busy tonight, Dennis. Item number 16, consider a contract extension for smoke testing and manhole inspections with the Sewer Assessment Services LLC. John, anything addition you want to add to this one?
Just, again, a slight difference with this one is we had an original contract. It was extended for 2 years. With the fact that the contractor, in the midst of everything increasing in cost, was willing to keep his price the same for the whole contract, we're making a recommendation to extend it for an additional year outside of the original contract with him.
Awesome, thank you, John. Questions and comments from the board? I'll look for a motion for moving item number 16 to the village board meeting later on this evening.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Dennis.
Second?
Thank you, Bill. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Item number 17, consider a service contract with Murphy and Miller Incorporated for annual maintenance and inspection of heating, ventilation, and air conditioning of all village facilities. John, anything addition to add to this one?
No, sir, standard contract.
Thank you. Are you still planning on keeping that end of the village board bench very, very cold with this
We
extension?
aim every time to do that.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys.
No problem. Any other comments or questions from the board?
I have a question. Is this gonna cover the shooting range?
That's a separate contract because of the fact that that is a hazardous materials
Right.
contract.
Okay, I thought so.
Thank you, Bill. Any other questions or comments from the board? I'll look for a motion to move item number 17 to the village board meeting later on this evening.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Dennis. And Diane seconded. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes,
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
that motion carries. Item number 18, consider a service contract with Total Automation Concepts for annual maintenance and inspection of building automation systems for all village facilities. Anything additional here, John?
No, sir.
Questions and comments from the board? At this time, I'll look for a motion to move item number 18 to the village board meeting later on this evening.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Dennis.
A second?
Thank you, Colleen. And Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes,
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
thank you. That motion carries. Item number 19, consider a service contract with Metro Power for annual maintenance and inspection for emergency backup generators for all the village facilities. Anything additional to add here, John?
No, sir.
And questions and comments from the board?
Except for the one, John, that was a little bit over budget. Great job of getting majority of these things under budget. Very nice to see.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's due to all of our diligent staff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Thank you, Bill. Other questions and comments from the board? This time I'll look for a motion to move item number 19 to the village board later on this evening.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you,
second.
Dennis. Thank you, Bill. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brady,
Yes.
trustee Galante,
Yes.
trustee Mahoney,
Yes.
trustee Mueller,
Yes.
trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
That motion carries. Item number 20, consider the Public Works Fleet Vehicle Purchase List. Quite a bit outlined there, John. Anything additional that you wanted to add?
Nope, just our annual request for salvage materials.
This
I'm sorry,
is,
no, this is the purchase. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
this is the purchase
Salvage
one.
is the next one.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. No, this is purchase for this year, so yes.
and then how many of them were we going to use the enterprise for on this particular one?
If you look at the memo, we have.
think it was 3.
2 of them that have asterisks on them. Those are the ones that are being denoted
Okay,
for
2.
the enterprise program.
Perfect, thank you. And thanks for calling that out in the memo. I think that was helpful. Any other questions or comments from the board? At this time, I'd look for a motion to move item number 20 to the village board meeting later on this evening.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Bill.
I'll
All right.
second.
Thank you, Colleen. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady,
Yes.
trustee Galante,
Yes.
trustee Mahoney,
Yes.
trustee Mueller,
Yes,
trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
that motion carries. And now we'll get to John's favorite item of the day, the salvage. Item number 21, consider the Public Works Fleet Vehicle Equipment List for disposal. Look pretty straightforward. Anything additional, John?
Nope, as I prematurely said at the last item, it's all the older vehicles that we're looking to dispose of or salvage.
Perfect. Questions and comments from the board? At this time, I'll look for a motion to move item number 21 to the village board meeting later on this evening.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Dennis.
Second.
Thank you, Diane. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady,
Yes.
trustee Galante,
Yes.
trustee Mahoney,
Yes.
trustee Mueller,
Yes.
trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
That motion carries. Item number 22, we will look to consider awarding a contract to Chrissy Weber Landscapers for the landscape and bed maintenance. This was, I don't remember whose this one was.
Well, who wants it?
This was yours as well, John. Anything addition that you wanted to add to this one?
Just a contract adjustment and looking for approval for the second bidder there.
Yep, looked great, and thanks for all the hard work on this one. I know it was a little bit complicated, but appreciate it. Any other questions or comments from the board on this one? At this time, I'd look for a motion to move item number 22 to the village board meeting later on this evening.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Colleen.
I'll second.
Thank you, Dennis. And Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady,
Yes.
trustee Galante,
Yes.
trustee Mahoney,
Yes.
trustee Mueller,
Yes.
trustee Sullivan.
Yes.
That motion carries. Item number 23, discuss the new compensation plan and market wage adjustment. I believe this one is Hannah's?
So in the packet, there is a thorough, lengthy memo that Angela had prepared with the village manager's office. So just at a very high level, that covers the 2.5% market wage adjustment, the change in compensation plan going from a step plan to a merit plan for all, for a majority of employees, and then also the transitional period to get all employees who would be impacted by this change over to a July 1st evaluation period moving forward. So again, it was a lot of information in the memo. If there's any other questions, we'd be happy to answer them. We're just looking for some direction. If there's any other recommendations, we'd be happy to kind of go back to the table. But we would look for approval on this at the next board meeting. And if there's no concerns tonight, we are looking to begin to start to communicate this to employees, as we know it will be a change, so.
Questions and comments from the board on item number 23?
Just a comment.
Go.
It was very well laid out, great information, and really, I can't ask any questions.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you
I
for
give a lot
putting
of
that
kudos to
together.
Angela. She's been working hard on this behind the scenes for a long period of time now already, so it's good to see this come to fruition.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, a couple of things from my perspective. I agree. The information was really laid out very, very well, very, very clear. I know each employee is going to get a personalized instructions in terms of what this is going to mean to them. So I think that's great. And I think when we spoke, it's great that they're going to be seeing, how this is going to affect their future as well. Reading through this, some of the stuff was a little bit insane that we don't do the annual reviews at the same time every year. And I can't imagine the administrative nightmare that is for all of both the employees that are going through the process and then those that have to administer it. So great to see that we have that consistency going forward. The 3.5% for the transitional period, I'd probably like to see increased somewhat. But other than that, I had no complaints with anything, and I could probably just give Pat or Hannah a call and talk through what we could do there on the transitional period, or Angela, if that's the necessary route. But everything else I thought was really laid out well, and hopefully this is a big step in the right direction in terms of consistency and a lot less complexity to this system. I think you said there was something like 120 different pay grades that we have essentially right now, and being able to bring those down and giving folks some consistent guideposts would be very helpful. Mr. Mike?
Thank you, sir. Angela, I just want to thank you. I know whatever thing you have on your plate, you put a lot of time and effort into that, and so I appreciate all your hard work between yourself and I know you worked with Hannah and Pat, so thank you guys.
Other questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, I will gladly make a motion to move. Do you need a motion to move this one, or is this just discussion tonight?
Well, we're going to approve an ordinance on the 21st, so let's just do a motion to be safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I will make a motion to move the new compensation plan and market wage adjustment to the village board meeting on June 21st, 2022. I have a second.
I will second.
Thank you, Colleen. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Item number 24, discuss the vacation policy. Anna again?
Yep, I will take that one. Again, Angela had a very thorough memo in the packet. She laid it out pretty clearly. In 2020, there was an ordinance passed amending the vacation policy for employees hired after January 1st of 2020. There's been some disconnect in the way that was written, and I think the intent that may have been there. So this essentially, we view it as a cleanup of that ordinance to ease administration and have a bit more fairness and marketability in terms of retention and recruitment as well moving forward. And this will also be a change for employees. So again, just looking for some direction, so that way it can be formally approved on the 21st. We'd also begin to communicate this if we have no other comments or feedback on it.
Thank you, Hannah. Questions and comments from the board? Nope. This definitely seems like a step in the right direction, so looks good to me. I'll make a motion to move this one to June 21st as well, Hannah, or?
Correct, yes.
So I'll make a motion to move item number 24 to the June 21st, 2022 Village Board meeting. May I have a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Colleen. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Item number 25, consider special counsel appointment for the Walsh Group. Plenty of information in the engagement letter. Additional questions or comments from the board?
Did you say there was additional information given out? And that you saw an engagement letter?
That was on page 2.
297 to 300
So is the
of the
packet?
village packet.
Is the packet?
village packet.
When I had emailed the village and asked about more information, that I was told something different. It's not, it was not in there. What was
It's-
sent on Friday. That I'm
I can
reviewing.
clarify. It's in the village board packet.
That you received on Friday from the clerk's office.
So when I called and asked about this, when the village manager sent out the information and said to give you any questions we have, and I sent those questions, could that have been the answer? Instead of, I'm getting a response that I didn't follow the protocol, so I'm not going to be given the information from the mayor? That was the response. That was the only response I received on my question, because I did not see any engagement letter. I saw just a memo from Kristen. That's why I asked. I'm sorry, is it okay if I continue with my comments on this item?
Yes, you have the floor.
Thank you. I'm very concerned about this. I've talked about, I guess I need to understand, I recently got contacted by Mr. Walsh at home on a Sunday, representing himself with a different law firm. Is this his current law firm that we're appointing in this letter? I just need to understand. I filed an affidavit about his coming in 2019 and presenting something to file in less than a week and then disappeared for a year. Conversations with the village manager, Dave Niemeyer at the time, with Kristen, also questioning why has he not done it. A year went by, we had no idea. I'm concerned now we're going to continue to appoint him. There's a lot of concerns I have that why he is representing himself with a different law firm, not only contacting me, but also have contacted others stating that I perjured myself in my affidavits. Is he representing the village? Is that a representation of what the village? Because I'm concerned why he's contacted me on a Sunday evening at 6 o'clock, stating he's with a different law group, and we're now appointing him with Wild Law Group. This is very unusual, and I am absolutely going to ask this board to please consider looking at the spending of the legal bills and really where all of this money is being charged to, because this is very unusual. I don't even know what we're appointing him to do, or if this is his law group, or if it's a law group that he said he is part of now. Is he in part of two different law firms? Is it the same person? I was told today that I wasn't privy to any more information because I wasn't following protocol. I did ask, again, the attorney to please clarify what I'm being told. I believe I'm not getting information that I need to do my job. The responses that I get back every time I send anything to a village manager anymore is I get a response from the mayor saying that for some reason I won't be getting that information. It would have been really nice if there was additional information, you just could have pointed me into that direction and I could have read it. And probably could have talked about this before, but I'm very concerned that you're gonna go ahead and just appoint him from everything that has gone on. I still don't understand what he presented in 2019 and said he was gonna do and took over a year. And how much money that is costing us, and just to continue on with appointing these law firms when we cannot get quarterly reports out of the village to review. I'm more concerned with the attempt that's put on holding information and not going through the information, what has changed recently for me, than what I actually can see, which is nothing. should be getting financial updates on a regular basis, and we're not. And that needs to be added to our agendas. We should be getting monthly updates on the financial results of quarterly. I forget what we used to get, but we're not getting any of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Any other questions or comments?
I did, unless someone else wants to go first.
Nope, go ahead, Mike.
Sorry, let me just write this down. I guess I'll just go step by step from what I wrote, from what she said. It's unfortunate, and again, it's the same old story. Diane saying staff, the board, everyone's keeping stuff from her, blaming others for everything else. Everything she said is just false, like her affidavit. In regards to your comment about the different Walsh group, maybe you don't pay attention. I don't know what I don't know what the reasons are why you say what you say. You had this argument with Dave Niemeyer when the ethics attorney, who is also called Patrick Walsh, contacted you, and Dave set you straight that, no, Diane, you have to look at the, look at the address and the names. These are different attorneys, but you keep saying they're the same. I don't know why you keep saying that. And you keep blaming Pat Carr and saying that you sent him a message. You did not send Pat Carr a message. You sent a request to Kristen, which is the mayor's office. You may have CC'd Pat Carr, but you did not send him asking him to answer the question. Your question was to the mayor's office. You asked, I answered. I told you that every question that you have is in your packet. You need to read it yourself. It's not our job to keep holding your hand to show you where everything is. So the only thing I could assume is you're not reading all your packet, because otherwise before you sent that email to Kristen, you would have seen that yourself, that I think Mike Mueller, who is not part of this, and Nancy O'Connor is not part of this, they both quickly answered and told you which one agenda item is on this page. So Nancy obviously is reading her packets. Trustee Mueller immediately, within seconds, answered you and told you where agenda item number 25 is, on what page. After you asked, he gave you the answer. We have enough stuff going on. If you're not going to do your own homework, I'm not here to work for you. You have to do your own homework. And I told you it's in your packet. Everything's in the packet. The clerk's office it can't be any more transparent, but you keep saying everyone's keeping stuff from you. You blame the manager, but you don't send the email to him, you send it to Kristen. And you complain about the updates on finances. Hannah, how often do we vote on the finances and the expenditures for the village?
Every board meeting.
Thank you. So it's 52 weeks. On average, we have 2 meetings a month. So we have a holiday here and there, so maybe average, we have 47 meetings where we pass, and it's all listed, all the finances for budget, what we're paying. The attorney fees, there's a line item that explains PJM's working on FOIA, PJM's working on a lawsuit, PJM's working on Harmony Plaza, PJM is working on PAC complaints from Steve Eberhardt, PJM is working on this, that. It's all listed, everyone sees it. But if you want to keep saying here, or keep coming and saying that you're not receiving stuff, go ahead, Diane, because none of it is true. Dave Niemeyer had to tell you this when you started this false accusation. And as far as the legal bills that she asked the board to keep watching, if you look at the spending, after our law firm has been falsely attacked, the Walsh Law Group has been falsely attacked, a lot of these expenditures come from lawsuits that are finishing up from your friend, Mr. Eberhardt, that you signed
Point
3
of
affidavits
order.
for.
You need
Mr.
to-
Chairman, I have the floor.
Point of order.
What's the point of order?
What is there a point, is this part of our meeting?
You
Or is this part
brought
of our
up the
meeting?
finances of he was explaining it. So
is this part of the meeting, what we're
He was
talking
just
about here?
explaining the finances that you brought up during your comments.
Talking that he's making accusations against me. So could you please clarify, what part of the meeting are we talking about right now? What line item?
Mike, just try to stop with the personal.
It's not personal attacks. It's about the finances and the spending of legal bills,
Finances.
which all the expenditures from her friend, Mr. Eberhardt, that she gave the
Point of
affidavits
order.
to, is part
Chair
of,
made a ruling that you have to ask for an appeal if you want it. That's the procedure.
so that is why this item is on here. They all have different items, and if you read your, for the finances, if you read your packet, like Assistant Village Manager Hannah Littman just explained, we vote on this every single week. Every single expenditure is on there. You're not asking questions. Any work that any attorney does is all listed on there on any work that they do. And each attorney does different work. Mr. Delgado was not hired by me, was not brought in by my administration, was brought in by Mr. Vandenberg. And so, Chairman, can you please, I have the floor, just please let him speak. Mr. Delgado was brought in by him. Patrick Walsh was brought in back in 2019.
I'm gonna ask
before it was-
for a point of order.
Ex-
Point
so,
of order that.
This is,
I'm gonna ask
this
for-
item is Walsh,
Explaining.
Walgrove.
Okay, if you want to ask the board for appeal.
He's explaining
You know,
which
so
line.
you know
item.
what, Mike, she's gonna just keep rudely interrupting everyone. I'm done. Thank you.
Mike. Any other comments on item number, I know I lost track of it, 25? And we're moving this one to the village board tonight, so I will make a motion to move item number 25 to the village board meeting later on tonight.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Dennis. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
No.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That item carries. Item number 26, receive items from the public. Would anybody from the public like to address the community of the whole? Madam Clerk, would you please reflect that no one came forward? And at this time, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole meeting.
I will second that.
No, you're making a motion.
Oh, he's made a motion.
I asked for a motion.
Oh,
I'll
you
make
asked
a
for-
motion.
You asked for a motion. I'm sorry, I thought you made a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the community of the whole meeting at 6:28.
I will second that.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
now, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Thank you. Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Galante?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. We are adjourned at 6:28 still.